Welcome to Modern Art Blitz. I'm your host, Matt Gleason, and get ready for an hour of blitzing modern art. Later in the show, we're going to have the fabulous Craig Sibley joining us. But at the moment, I have a guest for you with some compelling, provocative, and downright interesting art, images, and manifestations. His name is Keith Walsh.
Keith Walsh.
Keithwalsh. Keith Walsh.
Here I am.
How you doing, man? Welcome to the show.
Nice to see you again.
I'm used to seeing you behind your one-man band.
Yeah, I know. It's a little different.
Tell me about your one-man band.
One-man band, 14-piece, 15-piece, and it's a big, monstrous drum kit kind of thing, rock and roll, you know, lots of good beats, craziness.
And how many songs do you know?
Do I know of my own? Hundreds.
Of your own? Hundreds?
Hundreds.
You've written hundreds of songs.
I've written hundreds
of songs.
Do
You ever do cover songs?
Yeah, I do have a few cover songs, like some Syd Barrett stuff, play some Beatles stuff, Doors.
Oh, wow. What Beatles song do you play?
8 days a week.
8 days a week?
8 days a week.
On a one-man band?
On a one-man band.
That's like 16 days a week. That's like 16 days a week. You really combine it. All right, but you also make the static art objects. Is that an illusionary space?
I've always been an artist.
What are we looking at here?
And we're looking at a piece from 2001, which was at Chicago Project Room here in Los Angeles, and it's a big wall piece, which is a painting on Luan, so it's very, very thin, and it's pinned to the walls like a drawing with pins, and so it's painted with cell vinyl animation paint.
Ooh, that's a good
you know, it's you know, really fluorescent kind of stuff. It's meant to be eyeball popping, and that was my palette at the time. And so I was doing a lot of performance-based.
Have you ever? Do you have to carry insurance for popping eyeballs though? Is there and has there ever been
a starving artist?
Has there ever been a popped eyeball incident at one of your shows with this bright paint?
Yeah, some people have complained.
Yeah, they've complained. Yeah.
You know, so this show had a lot of drawings of the same sort. The drawings, you know, fluorescent colored pencils and things like that. You know, this is a big paint thing. It's over 16 feet wide.
Do you when you use this bright color? I mean, you don't have to get permission from that.
I don't have to mix them up. Just right out of the bottle.
They're straight out of the tube.
Straight out of the tube, and it's just, you know.
Does it mix if you wanted to make a pastel?
Oh, I'm a fascist.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. No. I couldn't mix at the time.
No.
I mix now.
You mix now.
Right. I mix now.
Okay.
But
what does it say?
This one says a painting constructed on the premise that America is firmly divided down the middle, but is actually moving to the right. So yeah, that's stage right.
Okay, so you painted this in 2001.
So that was just after, you know, the Bush Gore.
The Bush Gore.
You know,
the Bush Gore was actually just about to start. Yeah, okay.
Okay, so you know, we're coming out from the election now, so we know the kind of trauma, we know the kind of division, we know the kind of mending that was supposed to take place.
And it's 26 years later, 16 years?
16 years later, sweet 16.
God, I can't even do the math anymore. God. Okay, well, we can fast forward 8 years real quick. Come on.
Right. I mean, nothing's changed.
Woo-wee.
Nothing's changed.
All right.
It's getting worse.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, it's blitzing. Yeah. So, you know, I like to have text in my work. I've used text for many years. A lot of my work is very hard-edged looking.
What are we looking at here? This is an
right
installation?
Here we're looking at the...
How does a poor art dealer sell one of these things? Huh? Look at this installation.
This is perfect scale. It's human. It's like human head scale. Actually, it's a little bit larger than human head scale.
There's a lot of fat heads in the art world.
There are a lot of fat heads in the art world, and these are celebrities. So we've got Michael Jackson in the mix. We have Anita Bryant.
Seriously?
Yeah. I'm having a hard time figuring out who's who at this point. But the one that looks like Martha Stewart has a vaguely turkey-like shape to it.
Okay.
So those are abstract portraits.
What year are the abstract portraits?
2003, 2004.
Okay, so we're definitely in this century. What were you doing in the 20th century? You were a kid, but you know.
20th century, you mean...
do you remember it? Do you remember that? Do you have a lot of memories of the 20th century?
Yeah, I have to dig quite a bit.
Yeah?
You know? Well, you know, rock and roll.
Where are you from?
I'm originally from just above New York City.
Above New York City?
Yes.
You think you're better than New York City?
No, not at all. No,
So,
we're
so wait,
totally
we're
inferior.
above New York City. I'm trying to think of all the train stops. There's what's the first
I
one?
grew up in a town called Pleasantville, New York.
Pleasantville.
So
Wow.
the Home Reader's Digest magazine, I don't think it had anything to do with the movie, although I don't know for sure.
Okay. There is
It was a very
Pleasantville.
pleasant place to live,
Yeah.
very small town, like 7,000 people.
But you're not giving us all the details because
You know?
you're Reader's Digest. You're condensing.
Reader's
it,
Digest,
right?
yeah,
You're just
condensed view,
condensing.
right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Did they
So-
condense the Bible? Did that really happen?
They condensed all realities,
Oh,
political
man.
realities.
Well,
even the landscape is smaller.
Yeah,
around
that's.
there, you know.
They
that
might
kind
have
of
edited
thing.
out a
So-
few perspectives.
So, but I got a lot to see of what was happening in New York City. I remember the East Village scene. I remember.
Really?
I remember Soho when it was coming up.
Boy, it came up and went down,
came
and it's
up,
kind of
went
coming
down,
back again now.
long
Yeah?
before Chelsea. I mean, going to Tribeca, going to. White Columns and Artist Space and all different kinds of great
Wow.
places.
Did you ever see the Ramones or the Velvet Underground?
No, but I used to go to CBGB's.
You went to
in the
CBGB's
Ritz.
a lot?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay, so you guys okay, you're giving us your New York street
yeah,
cred.
no,
Then, if it's so great, why the hell do you live here now?
that's because of my woman.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. See, my woman's grad school career took us out here. So.
Oh.
But we did a stint in Boston for 10 years and things. So that's.
You were in Boston for 10
I was
years?
in Boston for a long
Wow.
time. I know.
That kinda gave you-
really.
that
Oh,
gave
I
you
know,
a-
I just like
that
I
takes
feel
all the
so
edge
stiff
off you,
from
though.
that,
Yeah,
it's
it
just
just makes
really,
you. Yeah, you're a little
it's
square
not-
from that, right?
Yeah, it's not a good place for contemporary artists at all. Really.
No?
It's good if you're a porcelain dealer, but
If you're if you want to do anything that involves the 1700s, it's probably
1700s. So we got to somehow make the 1700s present again,
Yeah.
right? So I mean, some artists can do that, but not my
No,
thing. I mean,
no.
maybe blue and white. I don't know.
no silversmithing. So what are we looking at here, man?
We're looking at some furniture scale sculptures that are based on military forms and architecture and car design and things, all wrapped up into one strange hybrid object, each of them at least. And so these are made out of Baltic birch plywood. I built these by hand between 2005 and 2008 by myself. Had a furniture finisher do the paintwork and stuff, since I can't do that.
Did you get any military intelligence inquiries? Like what the hell are you
yeah,
doing here?
It's kind of channeled through the laser cut aluminum.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay. So they want to
it's-
know what's this
That's right.
for?
It's the grid that's off the grid.
What's this application? Huh?
Yeah, the application. Actually, it was a very stealthy campaign because nobody really knows what to do with these things, and they think it's a lot about death in there.
Especially art collectors.
Art collectors, so can I use this for a coffin?
Yeah, they want some functionality out of the non-functional object. When it's Richard Serra, of course, they don't want to, they don't want to use it as a skateboard ramp. But what? Come on, what can we do here?
This is Bush era stuff. It was Iraq War kind of thing.
Okay.
That kind of stoicism and kind of perversity of democratic ideals and.
I'm seeing the merging here
ostentation.
of the modernist, proto-modernist form with political activism
Absolutely.
here. What's
Absolutely.
going on there?
Absolutely. I've always been very interested in the political.
You want to make an object that
form of art.
actually has context, but you don't want
context
to.
and content.
You don't want to
Right.
sacrifice design.
Right. Absolutely. So it's not art for art.
You want the unique,
I tried
well-made
that. I can't
object
do
with a
that.
statement. It's just too
Yeah,
boring.
yeah. It's about communicating with other people in
Okay,
some way.
but using the
using
vehicle of
forms
the
that they
unique,
know.
well-made object.
Well made, yeah. That's the
Well-crafted.
craftsperson in there.
So you're admitting there's a craftsperson in there.
Oh yeah,
Is
absolutely.
he's trying to break out, or he's happy just doing his role?
He gets happy if he knows what he needs to say.
Yeah, but the
you know?
political guy's kind of running things in there.
Yeah, political.
You got your inner Fidel there.
Oh yeah, Inner Fidel. Yeah, rest in peace.
Okay. You can get in trouble on Facebook, talking about that guy. Woo, man.
Well, he did a lot of good things too.
Yeah.
Kept us informed.
He kept who?
The
He
United States.
kept the United States
right,
informed.
right,
Okay,
right.
okay.
Kept
Well, it's
on his toes.
It's kind of like he was like a good Batman kind of guy villain,
Yeah, he was.
like the crazy
He
guy with the
was,
beard. Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
a freedom fighter.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. All right.
So it's about, about the freedom fighters. Artists are freedom fighters.
Artists are freedom fighters.
Yeah, artists are fighting. If they're really, really working at
For
something.
more than visual freedom, though?
Yeah, for more than visual freedom. But also, if we take a look at our role within society, what we could do for society and communicate with society through our artwork, that's, I think, even better.
The most important
So,
thing, maybe.
there's plenty of examples of that. I mean, certain kinds of modernism, not necessarily art for art. But
Art for art's sake you're saying that's a dead end cul-de-sac, right?
I think it's a dead end cul-de-sac. I mean, some people do it very well. I can't do it. I can't do it.
You have to have content, or without
have
content, why bother?
You know, we used to have this phrase at the Hartford Art School in Connecticut, where I did my undergrad: art like art or life like art. Make the choice. So you know, in other words, as Huey Newton would have said, or Eldridge Cleaver would have said, you know, either you're part of the problem or you're part of the solution.
All right, which part are you?
I hope, well, art is part of the problem, which is the solution.
Let me tell you about good white liberals. Let me tell you.
And then
it's no longer
Duchamp
safe.
said, you know, there's no solution because there's no problem.
There's no solution.
You know?
Oh, well, okay.
Right, so I don't know, you know, it gets all mixed up once in a while, but, you know, a little good night's rest and some, you know, laser focus in the studio will definitely get you right back on track.
All right.
Know?
Well, what the hell are we looking at here?
We're looking at a lot of stuff here. This is from my weekend show in Hollywood in 2011.
Where?
Weekend, an artist-run space.
Oh, wow, Weekend.
Weekend.
Okay, yes.
It was only open on weekends.
It was only open on weekends.
And,
that's the only time people go to galleries anyway, you know. I mean, why this Wednesday, Thursday, Friday
we have
stuff?
all these weird hours in the art world, and Wednesday to Saturday, or Monday through whatever.
Yeah.
God knows, you know. And museums are open, and shops are open, and by appointment.
Hauserwirth and Schimmel announced they were opening on Sundays. Now everybody has to open on Sundays. It's an art day. Sorry, you don't get that day off anymore.
I know. You can't work anymore. You can't be in the studio anymore. You have to be out running around, you know, seeing stuff. Yep. You know, but they had a great lineup of artists, great people, John and Jay, who are running the place. You know, back in around 2009 to maybe 2013, I think it was.
It's a good run.
Yeah, it was a good run. They're artists too, and they worked, so they cobbled together existence. We had a great community there, and stuff. What we see here in this image. Yes, there you go. Bing, I'm gone.
You disappeared.
We have the stealth vehicle.
The secret, Fidel's secret police came for you.
That is a very secret thing. You know, a lot of secret activities took place in the stealth vehicle. Many of them I know about. Some of them are recorded through drawings and some audio recordings and things. And the stealth vehicle is kind of the 21st century Batmobile. You know, for artists and anybody who enters the space.
Did you really drive this thing around? Like
absolutely. Mind over matter.
To 7-Eleven, you're like, you got to pick up some ice cream?
Yeah, get a big gulp.
Okay.
You know, because it's a long ride.
Okay.
It's a long ride to outer space.
How much Ben and Jerry's can you stuff in there?
Well, you know, there was this little trunk in the back. You could open it up. Okay. And in the trunk was the biplane mortar board. So, you know, like the mortar board when you've graduated from college. Okay. This had the biplane mortar board. So that was like extra levels of knowledge.
Are artists better off being stealth?
Sometimes. They have to learn how to talk and engage with different kinds of people and different kinds of environments.
Okay.
You know?
I think they mingle with all levels of society well.
Yes, we do.
In the words of Joe McCarthy.
I think that's really great about artists.
That's what you got to do, right?
You know, we go from low to high and everywhere in between.
What's the lowest you've ever gone?
The lowest I've ever gone.
How low can you go? All right. Well, let's take a look. Let's take a look at more. More. I'm digging the installation art, but now we have some actual objects here. We are among this great. What's going on here? Are these posters? Are you protesting something?
They're very, very small. Yeah, I'm poster testing. And they're legal size, so they were drawn using Sharpie marker while I was inside the vehicle, sitting inside the vehicle.
In the stealth vehicle. In the installation at Weekend.
Yeah, at Weekend.
In Hollywood, California.
In Hollywood, California. And so
you were making art in the space. Most people finish the art before they get the art show, but no, there's nothing applies.
That's right. You've got to keep it interesting. You know?
So what are these talking about?
So these are aleatoric or chance-based writings. They're spontaneous, and so I'm talking about what I'm hearing and what I'm thinking in this dialogue between inner and outer space. So basically, outer space was anywhere beyond the physical confines of that sculpture. So let's say if I had to go to the bathroom, okay, that's piss in outer space, and you'll see that reference quite a bit in the text.
You know, with the art, we could do the Brady Bunch here. Look, you could look around at the art. See, wow.
That's the way it became.
Oh, tell me about that one. See, but really we're on a. Okay, so and how many of these did you end up making?
8.
So this is a complete project.
Yeah, no, they took hours and hours. I mean,
really?
Oh yeah. I mean, a single panel would take me like 2, maybe 3 days to do, because what I would do is I would draw the black, which was the negative space. So I wouldn't draw the letters in color in. So it was all emerging, and I didn't have any preordained text or any kind of notes to respond to. It was just the downloading. Was
this a way to like avoid having to talk to people visiting the gallery?
Yeah, in a way.
Yeah,
yeah.
God,
and then it would be the Sharpie fumes. So I mean, I was like,
now is that toxic?
Probably.
Did you lose a few brain cells?
I think I did.
You have a liver test lately? That's where it really affects you.
Yeah.
It's quicker than a booze, you know.
Yeah. And
you got to watch out for those fumes.
I passed the 50-mile-an-hour one.
But did you pass a kidney stone?
No. I'm cleaner than you think.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Good. All right. Well, let's. How big are these?
They're 8.5 wide by 14, so they fit in a legal size clipboard.
Okay.
So the space of the inside space of the vehicle, it's a padded, carpeted and vinyl seated, vinyl sided door panels and stuff. So, but it's very narrow. So it was built to it was actually really no wider than this chair.
They have kind of an epic scale. I mean, they look without
good.
scale. They look like they could be as big as they appear. Here, I'll squeeze one here. God gave me the commandments.
That's right.
God gave me these commandments.
Now it's bigger.
There you go. Okay. So let's go. Let's move forward and
large.
Let's see what we got here. Okay, now I saw this drawing at a small gallery like
Elephant.
Where was that?
Elephant in Glassell Park.
Is it still open?
Yeah, it's still open.
There you go.
So they're still
the thriving
hard.
alternative scene.
Yeah, they're still making
space.
noise.
Is it an artist-run space?
Artist-run space.
5 or 6 into the ground
who
space.
Who run that space. And
Wow, 5 or 6 artists can do something together?
Apparently.
Wow, it
it's
actually
a good model
happened.
for our country.
Wow, great.
You know? Yeah, everybody's getting along just great. It's a great little space, and what they do is...
Are you one of the artists who run it?
No.
You were invited by just some of them?
You have to submit proposals.
You submitted a proposal to 6 artists.
And they came together and they said, Walsh, yes.
Wow,
Yeah.
okay. So tell us about the image that, because I saw the show, it was a great show.
Well, thank you. So by this picture is MLK and Stokely Carmichael. It's a hybrid from the end of 2014, and it's a colored pencil drawing, no pun intended, black pencil and acrylic. And so this show was of works when I started exploring my relationship to history, and the white history to black history, and becoming more familiar with the political alliances, coalitions, things of that sort. So the reason why MLK is split down the middle with Stokely is because they worked together, together during early civil rights in the 60s, or at least the mass movement. And eventually, they had a split of philosophy from the nonviolent to
more activist.
The black nationalist, and
Yeah.
and eventually Stokely was part of the Black Panthers, at least briefly.
Okay.
And things. So there's this combination of purposes, but also kind of a split identity.
What was it Eldridge Cleaver who became a Republican eventually?
Yeah, he eventually supported
And ran for Congress as a Republican or something?
Yeah, and here in California, and he supported Reagan and stuff. You know, I mean, he went from saying I can beat Ronald Reagan with a marshmallow in 1968, you know, during his stump speeches and things like that.
So what was Stokely Carmichael? Where did he end up?
Stokely Carmichael eventually went to Africa.
Really?
Possibly out of exile. I can't quite remember. But,
okay.
But you know, the FBI was after him. You know, just like all the other black-powered people and any kind of dissonance at the time. So he was basically more or less fleeing the COINTELPRO program, which was
he didn't know who his friends were and who was because
the FBI pitted one group against the other, friends against friends, and there would be these intermediary notes and communications.
Do you think there's any COINTELPRO in the art world right now?
It has to exist somewhere.
Yeah. I think all the deconstructionists are actually the COINTELPRO people, right? You know, because they're trying to get you off the track of making art, don't you think?
Right.
I think
Negative space.
Just a theory.
You know?
Just a theory. So, and what are we looking at here?
We're looking at a more recent piece from last summer, from 2015, and again, lots of text, and I'm combining my own speech acts with various quotes from certain people and aligning a kind of new hybrid narrative. So, for instance, the large picture, the color picture of the woman, that's Kathleen Neal Cleaver, who was Eldridge Cleaver's wife for a while, and she was the communications secretary for the Black Panthers in the 60s. And so she's quoted underneath the word Plymouth, and she's actually sitting in a Plymouth, and she was part of SNCC, Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, and who was run by John Lewis, who's now the veteran congressman Democrat from Georgia.
Wow, John Lewis, okay, yes.
Who was recognized very recently for his work during freedom movements and things. Anyway, so there's a combination of voices. Eldridge is in there, and then there's an Eldridge Cleaver for President button down at the bottom. So it's a combination of logos and various abstract elements and the text, and there's a certain element of planning, a certain element of chance to the accumulations of these things.
And this is a work on paper?
This is a work on paper.
Original print? Is this a print or a...
It's a combination of printmaking and hand rendering.
But there's only one, right?
There's only one. It's original.
And this one?
This one is a very, very recent one called Ride, and it's a reverse chronology from the top, more recent, to the bottom, which is further down in history of the desegregation of interstate transport and busing in the United States. So that was highly coordinated with other kinds of freedom movements and desegregation, not only through the South, but through the East Coast and the North as well. And so there's the Freedom Rides, the Freedom Riders, and they had a 50th anniversary of their events a couple of years ago and things. And there was the Journey of Reconciliation with some of MLK's guys such as Bayard Rustin and things. And it got me familiar with various SCOTUS rulings that helped to change
the world,
in the positive,
move us forward,
the proper direction.
Progress. Are we still going forward?
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully. So, get the masses to engage, get the artists to engage. That's the way it's going to be from the bottom up. But anyway, that's what they would have argued anyway.
Well, Keith Walsh, let me tell you, time flies.
Time flies. 50 years flies.
50. Let me tell you. Thank you very much for joining us here on Modern Art Blitz. You're an inspiration to take art where it can actually enlighten people, I would say, for lack of is there a better word than enlightenment?
Emancipation.
Emancipation. Thank you very much, Keith Walsh.
Great.
Hey, we'll be back right after this with our guest, Craig Sibley. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the land of illusion. Welcome to your final resting